Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. It is 7:58 West Coast time. It is 7th of April of the year 2025. Good evening to all. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. It's nice to say hello to you guys on this evening. We have a lot of things to talk about, and I want to make this, if it extends, it extends. If it doesn't extend, it doesn't extend. We are going to be releasing tomorrow at 5 o'clock West Coast time. That is 8 o'clock East Coast time. Our mini compilation of videos of what we uncovered on the cartel war in Culiacan. That it was an extremely dangerous place where Ben Bear Kwame and myself, Real America's Voice News, went in there. And it is extremely dangerous to go as a journalist to this kind of place and to expose what we are about to expose and to open up our mouth and explain the reality of what we saw and what we experienced on that place. The cartel wars that we experienced, the multiple, situations where we encountered difficult places where the cartel it is completely dominating and there are in a war with the most violent cartels in Mexico. And also the how the government of Mexico is not doing anything about it and how this is going to reflect on what the current situation of the United States is right now. This will be tomorrow for everybody that wants to join me. I will do a live feed like this. I will post, I will put the video on the side, and then I will get out of the screen and I will let you watch. And, when I want to, interfere and do some kind of a comment for people that they're asking, what is happening? What is going on? Why this happened right there? And this, and that. I will get in and I will comment and I will explain what we saw. A lot of the videos Ben Bearquam already posted about it, but you need further explanation of what, it is happening. So I will do that, in every minute of the compilation of videos. So these compilation of videos that is going to be exposed on X, and also I will put it on, on my platform on YouTube, and I will explain some like some sorry sorry about that. The microphone it was getting unplugged. Have a bad connection over here. Let me just see if it gets better. Yeah, we're back. So I'm going to put a compilation of videos, right? And the compilation of videos, I will explain what's the whole situation. One of the videos that went completely viral on Ben Berquam's Instagram was the Mausoleum Cemetery, a cartel cemetery that is incredible. A lot of people have gone in there, have shown this, but right now we are in a pinnacle that it was so important to show it. Why? Because these are the people that we need to label them as terrorists. And these are the people that have been making money out of human misery and making money out of trafficking of humans, making money of trafficking of synthetic drugs massively into the United States and being buried as kings and being worshipped as kings in Culiacan. It is and living out of the American taxpayer. That is American tax. What they have made their money out of these, glorifying and these cemetery that is called it's kind of like a mausoleum. They are being buried like it was like pharaohs, like in the Egyptian times. It is unbelievable. So I will explain that. Also, I will explain, you know, ultimately the kidnappings, the violence, how it has affected the city, how the city's shut down, how this market is shut down. And this, if it doesn't get stopped, and if it wasn't going to get stopped because Biden was not going to stop it, it was inevitably going to be a domino effect to hit the United States at one certain point because the United States under Biden was a lawlessness, you know, a a lawlessness country. There was no border. There was not going to be no border at all. And at a certain point, you were going to be just like watching everything come down in your face, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Agua de Jamaica. So you know, I will explain that tomorrow. It is a lot of work. I'm putting all the videos together. I told you guys when I come back and when I get out of there, I was going to put it all together. Say hello to Arizona. Say in Arizona in the house. Say hello to all the way to Arizona, Ohio. Also, say hello to all the way to Ohio. Thank you all for joining in. Share the video, like the video, share the video, like the video. Hit that bell button, hit that like button, hit that whatever button on X. And also, buy me a coffee is right there if you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Again, I'm going to be traveling soon again to show more of this and to showcase more of the reality on the epicenters of violence and on the epicenters of insecurity, not inside where the reality happens. So thank you so much for your contributions. So we're going to be showing this for everybody to watch. We went in there. It is extremely dangerous, extremely difficult, and we went in there. We organized all the trip. We got an enormous, great connection down there. I got that guy. I started having a conversation with him, and because he knows the seriousness of my work and the seriousness of Ben's work, and also the seriousness of the network, basically, I showed him, and we gathered a great relationship, and we started talking, and he's like, "Okay, calm down, Oscar. I'll show you." But I'm telling you, he said, it's extremely dangerous. And I said, well, it is what it is. So we're going to show you that tomorrow, 5 o'clock West Coast time. Don't miss it. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock West Coast time. 5 o'clock West Coast time, I will show you one of the things that a lot of the people do not know. It's kind of like, you guys know how the P. Diddy situation with the music industry, P. Diddy showing, right now that he's accused of trafficking, that he's accused of, sex trafficking and all this kind of stuff, or other things that he's being accused. And he used the music industry to do all these, accusation of crimes that he's being accused. Also like Epstein and all this kind of stuff. Sorry about that. Sorry about the mic. It's the connection that it's not letting me do my job. So, the P. Diddy thing situation, right? So the cartels are right now, they are extremely smart. What they're using is influencers. And these influencers and bloggers, they are money laundering through them like a mother, man. And they're using them as public figures to pull for sex trafficking, to pull for, trafficking of women, exploit women in some other areas, and ultimately for other, for other situations, for other circumstances. But most importantly, they're being used for money laundering. Until now, they have this war has ended into Los Chapitos and Los Mayitos, right? El Chapo Guzman and El Mayo Zambada, two kingpins that are arrested in the United States. They went at it, and that is the war. Until now, you have 7 influencers that they have been assassinated by, El Mayitos, Los Mayitos. Te quiero un chingo, cabrón. Te quiero un chingo, primazo, te quiero un chingo. Eres mi favorito, cabrón. Eres el que más quiero de todos. And, until now, this is the war. And as we are seeing this war develop, they are assassinating, they're assassinating basically influencers. And this is the thing, that because they are now going after influencers, the other thing is why they're doing it. And the number one thing is that because they're money laundering through these people. They already have 7 of them that they have been assassinated. They're using the music industry also. to basically on the music industry. They own music industry. They own record companies, and through record companies, they're also laundering. Can he? Okay, I'm having some audio problems, so I will test. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Testing. Am I good? Testing, testing. Am I good? Is the audio okay? Yes. So that is the other thing that is completely amazing. 7 influencers have been killed. So, it's part of this new development of an industry, right? These influencers, they're money laundering through them. And as they're being money laundered and are being abused and used, there's certain circumstances and preliminaries and conditions that they are being used by. And when they are not useful anymore, they are basically disappearing them, or a lot of them, they need to move to another country so, they can absolutely, live a life. This is actually, a situation that is aggravating and it is growing. Uh, it's growing massively, massively in Culiacan. There's a question right here. How come you don't talk about the Russians that the Salazar killing each in a broad daylight in Solís Rio Colorado, Oscar? The reason why you're making me speak about cartel activity and you're challenging me to say how come you don't. First and foremost, your question is not well elaborated. Second of all, when you say how come you don't, it is because of one reason why. And there's a reason why I don't talk about it. And the reason why is I don't want to get killed. I don't know if you get it, but I live in Mexico. So if I live in Mexico and if I keep speaking about certain things and I need to be well prepared to talk about a topic like you're the one that is talking about. So for that, I need to prepare myself. It's not like speaking about candy, brother. You need to understand these are serious issues. We're not speaking about migrants. We're not speaking about liberals. We're not speaking about Democrats and Republicans. We're speaking about the organized crime. You don't want to piss those guys off. And you don't want that problem. I'm telling you. Those people say exactly like I say. Those people say this. I don't want a problem. But if you want a problem, I say no problem. So that's an actual situation. And first and foremost, they're not Russians. Their nickname is Los Rusos. They're not Russians. So let's just understand the significance first and foremost. So going back to the topic, we're going to release this documentary for everybody to see it tomorrow at 5 o'clock West Coast time. And ultimately to talk about it, this cartel war in Sinaloa, that is actually, it's a really difficult thing to talk about. But lastly, I will just give you guys this, and I'm just going to put it on my phone. This is going to be tomorrow. Let me just give you a taste of one of the things that I will show tomorrow. And it is, the way it is bad. This is an amputated leg. You see it right there. There you go. You see it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. This was a soldier. That leg is from a soldier, from a Mexican soldier. A couple of days ago, it was not a couple of days ago, it was like 4 days ago, 3 to 4 days ago. We were, in that area that he got attacked. And particularly, there was a drone that it was thrown down specifically to that area. And the drone exploded. And it was an attack to the military. And that drone landed on the leg of this soldier and basically amputated his leg. That's how bad it is right now in the parts of Culiacan. It is extremely bad. Just no. You're wrong. This is how disinformation. It is clearly, this is bad information. I'm sorry, you're disinforming. Allegedly, yes, you're saying allegedly. That's a lie. They were not trained by Russians. No. You're confusing the nickname. No. This is why you need to, when you talk about these topics, when the organized crime, you need to be well prepared, because it goes to conspiracy and disinformation. And this is what we are trying to avoid. This is the hard fight. This is the hard fight that we're trying to avoid. Disinformation. And this is the other war, that is the media war. And it's really difficult. So tomorrow we are going to put that on the screen to talk about the war, the cartel war that we just were present in Culiacan. It was extremely difficult to be there. I'm not even going to lie. It was really difficult. It was really hard. And I'm going to say something, I'm going to say something. I have been in the middle of the Darien Gap. I've been right here, right? And I'm just going to, hold on a minute. Hold on. So I have been in the middle of the Darien Gap. And it has been one of the most dangerous places that I have walked. Really dangerous, right? Through life and death. Crossed that place 4 times. Got sick with malaria 2 times and dengue once. And it was not nice at all. I was in a crossfire situation with the Cartel El Clan del Golfo and the heroic agents of Centerfront. And, been there. Really difficult situation. I have been in the war with Ukraine, in crossfire areas, gray areas, like the military calls it, gray areas, right? Contact areas. And I have been in the war in Israel, in the part of close to Gaza, just in Sderot, and also, also in Lebanon, in northern Galilee, with the Hezbollah attacks. Seeing missiles flown by atop of me, missiles landing 1,000 meters from where we were at. Continuous attacks, bombings, drones on top, all of this, right? And I'm honest to say, those situations are not comparable to what we felt in Culiacan, in the cartel war. There's so much tension in those places that it's just unbelievable, the tension. I just have to be completely honest with you. This is the most nerve-wracking places that I have been in my entire coverage of covering situations in critical, places. That place that I have been, those places that I was at, those were the ones that I can say we're in a pickle. We are in a situation which we can be easily intercepted, extremely vulnerable to get hit, extremely vulnerable to be abducted, and extremely vulnerable to be shot. Extremely vulnerable to be shot, and extremely vulnerable to be located. And I can tell you, it was really unsafe. I have this. There's this story, that I can tell you, and it was a reality. I was at a bunker in in Israel. It was Esderod, and I was with the IDF. We were with a little group of the IDF, and the leader of the brigade or the group or the commander, whatever you want to call it, started getting everybody gathered because they were going to send them to the front line. So we were getting the interviews. The great Chuck Colton, my mentor, and we were there, and we were getting the interviews, right? How they were feeling. These all 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and immediately, burn, the alarm, right? There's a potential missile coming in, and we were really close, extremely close to the contact zone. So we started running to a bunker. I have that video. And we ran to the bunker, but when I cut the video is when I started having a conversation with the leader of the brigade. And I always carry a backpack in front of me, right, where I carry my camera, I carry all of these kind of things. And I had a patch, and the patch is the Mexican flag, beautiful as you see it right here. So he looks at me, he's like, "You're not from America. You're not from here." And I said, "No, no, no, I'm not. Like, you're from Mexico." And I'm like, "Yes." And he said, "What part?" And I said, "I'm from Tijuana." And he goes, "It is really dangerous over there, huh?" They say it's really dangerous in Tijuana. And I started laughing because I laughed at him, and I said, "You got to be kidding me. There's a missile that just landed. I just heard the boom, and there's a drone flying on top, and there's potential sirens going off because there's more missiles, coming in. And you're telling me that it's really dangerous in Tijuana." And the thing about this is what I want to explain. This is why they need to be labeled as terrorists. We as Mexicans, we have normalized this conduct. We have normalized so much this conduct that when we are pulled out of our little world and we see it from the outside, we don't see the reality that we have been living. And we have been living torture. We have been living a narco culture. We have been living that, decapitations, dismember bodies. It is part of our daily day dose of life. Kidnappings, abductions, missing people, extermination camps. This is our normal life. Seeing the cartel, old, camouflage, big vehicles, artillery weapons going at it with, the National Guard, the military of Mexico. This is part of our life. So we got to be normal with that. And when they pull you out of that little bubble, they make you understand other people that they're in a war zone, that we understand that we are not in a war zone. We think that we are not, but we understand that they are. And they make you understand, no, man, you're in a war zone. But we are like, no, I can go to the store. I can go to take my son to school. I can go to, there's the border. There's, I can go to Ensenada, eat some tacos. Nothing is going to happen to me. Yeah, but you're the average typical citizen and got accustomed to it. So for a tourist or for somebody that is out there, they're going to be like, hell no, I'm not going to TJ. It's right now in the top 10, and the top 10 for violence and insecurity is number 1. So why in the hell am I going to TJ for? So it's so normalized in our minds. Where am I going with this? So we were at a stoplight in Culiacan, right? And all around Culiacan, you have these shrines and glorifying shrines of La Santa Muerte, that is the Holy Death. And everybody knows this, right? Everybody. So all of the places, even a normal high, on streets, you have these statues, and the cartel goes and glorifies there on the statues. So what they're trying to do is to normalize the population that is the God, that is who you need to pray to. That's how crazy it is, man. That you see these glorifying statues of the Holy Death, the Santa Muerte, and they're all over the city. So what they're trying to do, the cartel, the organized crime, what they're trying to do to the population is oppress them to believe that that is who you need to glorify, and that is normal to be in the corner of your street. That is normal when you're walking your kids and you're seeing a big statue like that, and everybody's glorifying and everybody's giving. Oh my God, it's so crazy. It's crazy, right? So I'm going to upload a picture in the next 2 or 3 hours on X. And it is a picture that I took. It's a crazy picture of a store that sells statues of the Holy Death. And there's a bench. And on that bench, there is a mother and a child waiting for a bus to come by. The picture, it says a million words. It says how a child, it is in front of just these statues, that they're evil. And the child is acting normal. And the mother, why is she normalizing to sit her child in front of this? It's the normalization of this narco culture conduct in our lives. It's just crazy how this is getting so normal in our country, to normalize our children and to normalize, this in our country. This is why I'm telling you, tomorrow I will do a long video. This long video, possibly we're going to go live for an hour and 30 minutes, because it's going to be long and explanatory. It is a mini compilation of videos of this behavior in our country and why they need to be labeled as terrorists. And I will stop and explain, this is because of this. This is because of this. It is crazy. It is unbelievable. This normalization of illicit and illegal conduct, I will answer your questions. There's a lot of questions, but when I answer the questions, I get distracted and then I get off topic. So I will answer your questions in a minute. I'm basically possibly the only guy that has a podcast and a show that answers questions. A lot of these, podcasts or communicators or whatever you want to call it, they don't answer the questions. They don't even look at the comments. I'm doing it because I think that it's respectful to the audience, right? This is incredible. All the things that we saw there are extremely, life-changing when you see it. Another thing that it has to be explained. It's how the schools, kindergarten, elementary, junior high school, college, all of them, guess what they're doing every day? Emergency drills with the sound of a firearm. So they put these speakers, right? And they make it sound like you're under attack. So the children have to go down and duck. Look how this has caused so much anxiety to the society of Culiacan in a town of Mexico. And also how much the psychological trauma that this is going to cause. Not only economical and financial to the businesses, because it's disaster. It's completely destroyed the economy. Why? Because I will show you in the video how it is a ghost town at night, because the society has adapted themselves to a curfew. It is not implemented by the government. It is implemented by the citizens. The citizens said, after 7, after 8, we're all going home. So now in the schools, you got the kids going down and they're playing with each other. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah. They're laughing at each other. Some of them, they're scared. Some of them, they're traumatized. Some of them, they're like, oh, again, oh my God, let's go down. All right. So you normalize this to be part of your life. You know, you saw this. I don't remember the movie. I think it was the Orange Machine. I think it was called, or I think it was called. I don't remember the movie, but it was Stanley Kubrick's movie. And the way to torture somebody is that they put him in a room to listen to all these videos, right? And they were accommodating their brain to understand, how to understand that they were getting adapted to that. And Clockwork Orange, yes, that is the movie. And crazy enough, that is actually what it is. It related to me as I was there. I was like, wow, man, we are getting adapted like that. Like it's a siren, and it is you're in war, and I will tell you how it's comparable right now to that, to what I saw in Ukraine and to what I saw in Israel. Look how aggravating this is. So when I was in Ukraine and I was with my brother Ben Berquam, we were at a bunker, and immediately we started hearing sirens, and we were really close to the combat gray zone. I was with Chuck Holton. It was Dave Eubank, also the great Dave Eubank, and we started putting our gear. Right, what was our gear? Our gear was the best, the bulletproof vest, the helmet, everything. We went out of the house. There was a little hallway, and there was some people that they were renting this bunker for journalists, specifically for journalists. And there was a family there. The family, it was around 4 people. It was the father, the mother, and 2 children. One of the children was like 9 years of age. There's 2 experiences that I can tell you about this, how this is normalized, and how this is a psychological trauma to adapt the child to be in a combat zone and to be adaptable to sirens, missiles, gunshots, everything like that, right? So we got out and we were wearing all of our attire. And we saw a child, and the child was around 9 years old, and it says to her mom, like, what's going on? Asking the child in Ukrainian, and the mother explained to us in English, said, oh, she's asking why you're wearing that. And I'm telling them that you need to wear it because there is missiles and there is, gunfight right now. And I just told her, and she's telling me why it is going to pass away. It is normal. That's the crazy part, that we looked at the child and I'm like, how in the hell is this possible? How in the hell is this possible to be normal? Another one. This is how you normalize a child mechanically in their brain to understand that this is normal. Exactly like what is happening in Mexico with these narco corridos, with this narco music, with this narco activity, with these emergency drills. This, it is, basically indoctrinating the children to adapt themselves to a war zone. And you normalize these kind of things. They shouldn't be no emergency drills for this. It should stop. The war should stop. And in Culiacan, this 5+ months that this has been going on. Why are they letting this extend to a point of what? To a point that they need to normalize this situation and for the citizens to say, oh, this is part of life. I was in Israel. Another experience that it was kind of related to what is happening. Another story. We were going close to, going up in Kiryat Shimona, a place that it has been greatly attacked by Hezbollah. And we were staying at a house at a Jewish family up in the hills at a, really close grounded area by the IDF. And we were going up. And I was outside of the house and they were having dinner inside. And Chuck Holton was in there having dinner with them. And they were like drones flying by consistently, and you can actually hear the sound. And not only that, there's a question that I would like to that I'm going to answer. And not only that, there were F-14s flying. I think they were F-14s, but they were flying. The sound was so intense, man. I was outside. I was like, what the hell is going on? And the people inside, they were just having dinner. So this is how you understand the normalization of a war in a contact zone in a war. It shouldn't be normal. Somebody's asking, Felicia, you're asking, so what do you think they should do about it? There shouldn't be a war. If you're asking me about emergency drills in schools, why in the hell we're doing emergency drills in schools? It should do an emergency drill for a week, 2 weeks, max. But why we are going on 5 months and still doing them every day? Why? Why this war is not getting stopped? This is why the whole video of tomorrow is for people to understand why we need to label these groups as terrorists immediately. So those are the kind of experiences that I want to tell you tomorrow. And you're going to see it on your own. Also, we went to a town that is called Imala, that it was taken over by the organized crime. And you're going to have actual statements of the people, how they said, well, yeah, there was a convoy of strong armed men that just came over here and they just took over the town. And they were recruiting the youth. So what they're doing is they're going to these towns that they're on the opposition. They're on the opposition of the territory of the other cartel that they're fighting. And the way they recruit people to fight the opposition is to recruit their own people, not their own people that they're involved with the cartel, but their own people that they are on the territory of the opposition, right? So they go to these towns and they recruit these young kids, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And it's unbelievable that they're being, kidnapped, a lot of them, forced, a lot of them. It is called forced displacement. They are being forced to join, the organized crime. This is extremely important for you guys to understand, because a lot of you see a lot of these young kids dying in cartel wars, and you're like, oh, he was so young. That's what you get when you're young and you're involved with the wrong people. A lot of them, yes, they basically they are self-infiltrated into these kind of situations, but a lot of them, no, a lot of them, they're forced. And a lot of them, they're just farmers. They're just normal kids that they just wanted to live their lives and possibly one day go to a better place, get a better job. But they were forced to do it. And some of them, they were kidnapped. And they didn't have no other option but to wear the attire and go against whatever the leader of the organized crime was telling them. You need to go against this. This is your job now. This is what you are paid to do. And if you are not paid, if you're not going to do it, well, you know the result. You're not going to like it. And you're going to do it until I tell you to do it. And if you don't do it, I know where your family lives. So you're fighting for me. Sound credible it is. All of this, I want you guys to understand. I want to show you something. Let me see if I can. Should I show it or shouldn't I? No, I'll make you guys wait tomorrow. I'll make you guys wait tomorrow. It's I'm not gonna boo spoiler alert. I don't want to do that. But really I want to put all these pieces together for you guys to understand the reality of what this aggravated situation is about. And how I finished broadcasting and I finished saying, we're heading out of Culiacan. This is so sad. This is what is happening. This is the reality. We're done over here. The sad thing about it is that, the actual governor, he is living in the governmental palace in the 3rd floor, protected by the government because he doesn't want to go outside in the city. It's so amazing, right? Because you see, like, why the governor is because the governor's, they're saying that he's complicit. The governor is saying that he's involved. So the crazy thing about this is that not only they're involved, but they're hiding. And meanwhile, the citizens are suffering. It's just crazy. You're gonna see us going in there. I had a hidden camera. Well, not hitting. I had the phone hit it a little bit, and they wouldn't let us in into the third floor. We try to go in into the governmental palace to, not confront, but ask the governor, like, what's going on, man? Why don't you go out there and defend the people? And they completely lock us up. And there was a filter, and the guy was armed, and he wouldn't let us in. He's like, no, 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 no journalists to the third floor. We know what you're trying to do. It's amazing. And even after that, the journalist that we had in contact over there in Culiacan, that he's extremely talented, that journalist was sending me material saying, Oscar, this happened. Just a couple of minutes ago, he told me this. Let me just read what he told me. He said, this morning, they eradicated, and eliminated 9 interns in a rehab center at the hours of the night. Also, they kidnapped the owner of that place, still missing. And also, there was a confrontation in a road that is called Saus, where until now, on the first 7 days of April, more than 32 dead. This is a war in Culiacan. This is where Ben Berquam and myself, we were in. This is how difficult it is. This is how hard it is. This is how bad it is. And everybody's going to say why the Mexican president is not doing anything. Tomorrow I will explain why. It is not a conspiracy. It is not creating hysteria. It is not fear-mongering. It is not all this stupidity language that the progressive liberals use to justify and to cut the freedom of speech. This is the reality. Before I leave, I want to touch on something else. Well, I will answer your question. If somebody wants to ask me a question, I don't want to, because I did a video about it, and there were a lot of protesters yesterday, thousands of them, that they were being paid by certain organizations to go out there and protest, right? But the whole thing with these progressive liberals, a lot of them, that they are against the mass deportations or they're against the immigration policies. Do you know how many people have died in the Darien Gap? Do you know how many thousands they died? Do you know how many thousands they were abused, kidnapped, extortion by the cartel, all the way from Colombia to all the way to Mexico? And also that they suffered the kidnapping, the extortion, the rape, the abuse in Guatemala to Mexico. And from when have you ever walked a caravan? Do you know how much the suffering of people walking for kilometers on the hot concrete? Do you know that? These progressive liberals, they don't know what the whole consequences of open border policies, and Alejandro Mayorkas, that he's complicit about this and he needs to be charged with crimes against humanity. Not only that, Joe Biden, the United Nations, the Global Compact on Migration, OIM, the UNHCR, all these organizations that were part, and their proxies, these NGOs that were profiting and living out of human misery, collecting millions of dollars. But these people, they were protesting because of the immigration policies, right? Some of the protesters were because of that, but they don't even know. I understand that a lot of these progressive liberals, they are against mass deportations, and there's a huge debacle of, I'm against it, I'm pro, this, I'm pro that, I'm against this, and there's also a debacle of, how is this going to help? And if this helping, and it's not helping, there's that debacle. I understand your literal intern war that you guys have with decisions and situations about I'm against it or not. But, living that BS alone, for all you progressive liberals, do you know how these new immigration policies, how it has stopped the cartel from taking advantage from human beings, like in the jungle? Do you know how many lives, because of these immigration policies, how many lives have been saved? Do you know how many children have been not missing because of this? Do you know how many women have not been raped and abused because of these new immigration policies? Do you know how much women are not being exploited by the TDA, that they exploit women all the way from Francisco de Paula Santander, from Simon Bolivar Bridge between Venezuela and Colombia, that I was there, and then no other journalist that I have seen has gone over there. And Ben Bergquan was there, and we saw the operation of the TDA years ago before it became aggravated and a huge problem. Do you guys know about that? You know, these progressive liberals, they're going out there and protest. Oh my God, with this immigration policies, but they don't know the collateral effect of how many people have died under the Biden administration. Is the administration where more migrants have died in history. What more evidence do you need? These immigration policies, they're, you know, a lot of these progressive liberals, they say, oh, they're racist, they're progressive, they're bad. A lot of people are saying, oh, these immigration policies, they're tough. I will tell you, if these immigration policies are saving lives from being trafficked in the middle of this place, if these immigration policies are stopping the cartel from taking advantage of human beings and making a profit of human beings, if these immigration policies are stopping these NGOs from making money and making money out of human misery and taking advantage of our people, if these immigration policies are stopping child trafficking, child abuse, and exploitation of women, of our women in the continent of America, if these immigration policies are stopping caravans from people to suffer from the cartel taking advantage of them all the way from the south of the country of Mexico and all the way to the north borders and paying more money in the north borders to cross them illegally to the cartel, if these immigration policies are saving children from not dying in the Rio Grande River, being trafficked in the Arizona desert, or being trafficked in Texas, the hell with them, man. If these immigration policies are doing that and if they're against your narrative, I don't care. They're saving lives. These immigration policies are saving lives in Central America and in South America. Possibly a lot of people are not migrating for a better life into the United States of America. But guess what? They're pushing for their country to get better. Even the Mexican president, that everybody's saying that she's a socialist, I was there. In her meeting speech after the threat of a tariff, she said the solution for a tragic necessity migration to stop, it is to make their economical infrastructure internally better, which means make their countries better for them to not migrate out of necessity. Why are we progressively pushing people out? Because this is part of your political agenda. It is part of the Agenda 2030. You're using people for your political gain and votes. You're only using this mass migration to basically destabilize borders, and you're also taking advantage of it. In the meanwhile, making millions of dollars with the NGOs, making millions of dollars of USAID, which thank God it is canceled and you're not money laundering through NGOs sending millions and billions and billions of dollars. You're making millions of dollars out of trafficking of children. You're making millions of dollars of exploitation of women. You were making millions of dollars where there was no wall and there was an open border gap and funneling migrants consistently. And on the other side, you had the NGO with Pampers and wipes. Oh my God, Juan, I'm right here to receive you. Oh my God, we're out of wipes. Call Chuck Schumer. We need $60 million more. Yes, that was what you were doing. If these immigration policies are stopping that, the hell with it, man. I'm all for it. Because they're saving lives. People are not dying miserably in a jungle, which I have the evidence in which I crossed 4 times. Didn't walk with, crossed it 4 times. You haven't not crossed it. You haven't not walked it. You're just enjoying your hamburgers and your fries in the United States of America and enjoying the capitalist life out of the capitalist dollar, being a capitalist liberal and complain about capitalism and complain about the unfairness of Elon Musk and the unfairness of everything. But you have not suffered the consequences and seen how the migrants have suffered the consequences of life and death situations. These immigration policies have saved lives. And guess what? The most important thing, it has hit the organized crime in their pockets. They're not making a profit out of human misery like they were doing before. They're not making a profit out of human beings like they were doing before. That market, it is dead right now in Colombia. 99%, it has decreased the level of crossing people through the Darien Gap. That makes me happy. That makes me extremely happy because I've been there and it is horrible and it is bad. And it is so sad to see people die, to see women being raped, abused, to see children suffer, to see people get sick of malaria, to see decomposed bodies, of pregnant women. It's so sad. You guys never seen it. You guys are advocating and protesting in your streets over there, right? Not even understanding the current situation of what this open border policies and mass migration have cost. You guys are sleeping in your comfortable beds. After you went out to protest, what do? You went back to your house, right? And you got under your cover and you put out the AC if it was cold, or if it was hot, you put the AC also on, and you watch Cox Cable, right? Or you watch Netflix, and you're like, oh my God, really comfortable, right? Meanwhile, people were dying over here. So you're advocating for these open border policies to continue when you are just sleeping really comfortable in your bed. Meanwhile, people are crossing this horrible place. It's just unbelievable, the audacity of these people, that they don't even know the consequences of what has been happening for years, man. It's a reality. You and your dang burgers and AC. Well, God bless you, man. If you don't like it, get out. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. Thank you so much. It is 8:49 in the evening. I'm going to go back and edit some videos. If somebody wants to ask a question, go ahead. Thank you for Annie Grady says, thank you for bringing all of this up. I wish the Bishop of El Paso could hear this. One corrupt city, extremely corrupt city. Thank you so much, Sharon Taylor. Thank you so much. I was quoting you, Oscar. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I apologize. I read the comment wrong, so I apologize. Pete Marquez, these people come traumatized from the voyage, and the hospitals are full of them. Taxpayer cuts the bill. Okay. More comments. Thank you so much, Noble. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, Oscar. You go through a lot. Well, it's part of life. Is there a chance to win with the cartels? Yes, it is. There's always a chance. Jesus won the world. Why we don't have a possibility to win? Look what Nayib Bukele did. There's a possibility. Yes, absolutely. Where does the satanic culture of cartels emanate from? Aztec or Mayan? No. It has nothing to do with our past culture. It has to do with these normal satanic beliefs. And these are bad people. These are the organized crime. These are bad people. So, it relates from that. And they strongly believe there's black magic and there's white magic. And they strongly believe to pray to a Santa Muerte that is white, a Santa Muerte that is black. There's different Santa Muertes, and one that is with colors. There's different ones. Ben was one of podcasters this morning. Where is Oscar? Ben was on one of my podcasters this morning. Where is Oscar? God bless my brother Ben. I just saw him. I don't want to, but it's okay to see him every trip. But I get sometimes I'm like, you go home. I go home. You go home, and then I'll see him in the other one. Do you think Mexico and the USA are together? Possibly politically not, but the people, yes, we are, because we want to fix this problem together. We need to respect each other first. We need to forgive each other first, and we need to start classifying ourselves as I'm better, you're not. This is not about who's better and who's not. This is not about I'm first class world country, you're third. This is about fixing a problem, and then you do you, I'll do me. This is what it's about, and I think that we are one step closer to do that. Okay. Yes, you don't like it. No, it was a joke. It was a joke. Somebody, no, it was a joke. Please don't say nothing to that profile. It was a joke to that person. Please, don't. It was a joke. uh, Oscar, I remember you saying that you're not allowed to wear bulletproof vests. Can you say why again? I went to the questions, and there's a lot of questions, so I will answer There's a lot of questions, so I will go one by one. It is against, we're not authorized as citizens to wear them, because the police can question if why are we wearing them, and we're not as free and as the United States, and we go to these places where we're not allowed to wear them. It is against the law, and it is because it will make the police understand that you have something, that you are, that you had some problems, so you're fishy. So they will not let you wear them. Even I had one. I remember I was taking it. I don't know where I was taking it. I think that oh yeah, I was taking it to Israel. And as I was flying from Tijuana to City of Mexico, they took it in City of Mexico. Like, you got to be kidding me. You cannot, have this. You already know that, right? And I was like, well, I tried. So I said, well, I tried. Did Ben get his equipment back? Yes, he did. This is what happened. So corruptibly, the Mexican customs, what they try to do is they tried and they lied to us that the drone that it was inside his Pelican, where he had the tripod and the camera that he always uses, he didn't have the live view. Thank you. But he had the Starlink and he had those kind of things and cables. And so the customs, what they did is said, well, that drone, it is valued at $800 and some dollars, and that is what you need to pay, plus the 19% tax. It ended up into $4,000, right? And it's like, get the hell out of here. We're not paying for that. So I said, no, hell no. And he said, like, I'm not paying that. And then they sent us an email. We went to the airport in Culiacan, and we talked to the customs over there. They said, well, in Mexico, where the luggage was held, they're saying that you have a drone that is valued at this. And like, BS. It is a mini DJI. It is like $290 plus taxes, like $300, and it's already been used like for like 3 to 4 months. So it's valued like 270, 260. So what are you talking about? I got the receipt right here. So it's like, well, they're saying that you need to send a payment of $850 to a Gmail, and that Gmail is going to tell you what bank account. The bank account was a name of we don't even know who in the hell. It's like, of course, it was a bribe. It was extortion. So we said, hell no, we're not doing it. And I told him, no, you're not doing it. We're not doing it. Hell no, we're not doing it. So it's like, what we need to do is, we were flying back from Culiacan to Juarez to go to the border town of Juarez to report. So I said, we haven't bought the ticket. So what we're going to do is go from Culiacan to Mexico and, grab a flight that is going to give us a layover of some hours, so we can go to customs and kick their butts. So we got there and we had a 6-hour layover, right? So like, it's more than enough. We got there, we went to the customs agency and like, hey, you guys have our luggage, and it's unfair that you guys are trying to charge us $850, and we're not going to pay it. We're not. And like, what are you talking about? $850. So I talked to him. It's like, oh, who's the owner? He's like, oh, him. I said, Ben, come here. Like, hey, he wants your passport. And like, okay, here is his passport. I'm like, well, only we can let in one. So I said, okay, so you understand Spanish, right? And he's like, yes, Ben understands Spanish, but he understands now more Spanish because he hangs out with me, and we've been doing these coverages where I have been telling him here to go, here to go. We've been doing this for like 3 to 4 years now, consistently, like traveling through these coverages in Central and South America. So he has picked up a lot of Spanish. So I said, like, just be careful. Say no to deposit. Say no to this. And like, yeah, man, I got it. You don't need to tell me. I'm always right. I'm like, all right, big man, go in there. So he went in there, and, he was right. He came out with his luggage. And it's like they said that they made a mistake, Blue. And I'm like, what kind of mistake? They did not made a mistake. They were trying to take away your money, man. They did not made a mistake. They were like they got caught red-handed trying to do something fishy, and and they couldn't accomplish it. So the guy in the customs said, "Oh, I don't know why they held your luggage. This is not even the value of $850 plus the 19% tax. These people are crazy." So no. So we got our luggage back and everything. Everything was okay. I'll go with more questions. You are concerned about the normalization of all this corruption, but what is the solution for people to push back? It's difficult. We, as a society, we don't have to accept narco culture. That's the number one thing. Narco corridos, all that stuff that is regularizing our youth to be contaminated with this, trash in their brains. That it's okay to glorify cartel kingpins. We need to stop that because that is pivoting to damage our society and to damage our kids. Also, we need to get more public speakers in the schools. Public speakers, and that's one of the things that I want to do. And I have said this before. That's journalism has given me a lot, but I think that my next phase is to go to schools, to elementaries, junior high schools, rehab centers, and also to private state prisons and federal prisons right here in Mexico, to start speaking and saying, like, this is what is going on. This is what we are doing wrong. This is what is happening. We need more public speakers to go to these places and educate our kids and educate our youth. And we need programs, forcing programs on the children. On everything is on school, and everything starts at the house. So it is not only about educating the children, but it's also educating the parents, what their parents are doing wrong and what they're not enforcing. First, we are suffering from obesity, so cut the food. And that's one of the things that I'm not in favor of a lot of things the president is doing, but the president is cutting the food right now of all these dirty food. So she's basically putting in schools healthy food. One of the things that I could say is a plus. But we need to educate them to not listen to this kind of music, and what are the bad things about joining these kind of groups and the consequences of it. And we need to do exercises, and we need to do a lot of things. It's programs. It's like an addiction. It's like the problem the United States has with fentanyl. The United States has failed to do programs to prevent, addiction abuse and to prevent addiction, basically, addiction, to prevent addiction of fentanyl. So they need to implement now programs and to prevent people and to tell them this is what's going to happen. They're going to end up here. This is and be consistent. Like they're being consistent on brainwashing our children, and the organized crime is being consistent of normalizing this kind of conduct. We need to normalize and counterattack their normalization by normalizing in our side the good side: God, sports, education, results, jobs, incentivization of great things that are going to happen to your life. That's what we need to counterattack. And we're not doing by sitting down and just saying like, oh yeah, on Saturday I'm going to take him to a football field. No, it's not about that. It's about getting involved in your child's life and be like consistent with them. Let's make parents great again, man. That's what we need. We need to make parents great. How could so many people be bad? Something don't add up with this culture. No offense. Well, it's not. I just said what we're. I think that I just answered your comment. Let me just go a little bit down. See your video, cemeteries. I'm going tomorrow, Miss Karen. I'm going tomorrow to do a live at 5:00 in the evening West Coast time. So I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it tomorrow live 5:00 West Coast time for everybody to see. And for man, the mic is so annoying to go up. The volume goes down and goes up. I don't even know why. And so I'm going to do a live tomorrow 5:00. I'm going to put the video. I don't know if the video is going to end up being 30 minutes. So every time that there's a question and that I think that it's really important to explain, I will stop the video and I will come into the live and say, this is what's going on. This is why it needs to happen. This is why. So be sure to tune in. If it goes beyond an hour, possibly we're going to do 2 sessions. But if it goes, and if I can make it less than an hour, of the video being watched and not interfering with it, because there's going to be more questions coming after that, I can easily do it in one session. Thank you so much, Ms. Judy Joyner. Thank you so much, Ms. Judy. God bless you. Okay. There's a lot of comments, and I don't want to be able to stand up against the cartel. Wish it is not. It's. We have said this so many times before, and it is explained on the video tomorrow. It is not about removing, trying to buy you a coffee for you. Where is the link? It is on YouTube. So you got to go to YouTube, and it is on top of the broadcast. It is pinned. Buy me a coffee. It is right there. People want to contribute. Thank you so much. We are going to be traveling again soon. Will the president of Mexico be able to stand up against the cartel? We were talking about this. They remove all the kingpins and drug lords, right? But who makes the decisions? Who lets them work? Who it is the provider for them to continue? And who removes them like they were chess pieces and puts another chess piece in? Who is it? The government. So why every time we are seeing, oh, this kingpin got extradited, oh, there's another kingpin got extradited, and then they put another one and another one and another one? Why we're not extraditing these dirty politicians? That they're the ones that they're in charge. That is when we are standing up. The real cartel is the dirty politicians, are not these proxies. We need to eliminate and eradicate. The swamp in the United States is deep. The swamp in Mexico, it is beyond the floor, man. It's beyond deep. So we need to go deeper and to just start, what we need to do is extradite these people. I don't go on OAN. I go on RAV, Real America's Voice News. That's where I go on. Okay, hello from Washington. Say hello to Washington. Oscar, have you thought about offering your book for pre-sale so you can use the funds for travel? I think you can ship the books when your book is available or shipping out. We are, the thing about the book is I forgot to put 4 things, and those are the most important things, are the experiences that I had personally with migrants, and learning experiences and how that has affected my life in a positive and negative way. So those are the last things that we are putting there, and we are done. And I will say when it's going to be on sale on Amazon. Thank you so much, Miss Justin Aker. A lot of people saying that my English has gotten better. Well, you hang out with the right people, it gets better. Okay. I'm seeing a lot of comments. I'm seeing questions, but I'm picking the questions from a different person. I I don't want to pick the same people again and again. I'm American, and nobody wants to say what you're saying. Oscar, you're the man, bro. I'm a Mexican American. Nobody wants to say what you're saying. Well, it's difficult. Es difícil. Pero tenemos que tener la coherencia y sobre todo la ética para poder hablar de esta manera, ¿no? Pero es difícil. Es difícil, pero lo tenemos que hacer. I'm not being exploited and murdered because trafficking, but us cops are able to hunt, but us cops are able to hunt criminals and arrest. Do you follow the tariff money? The trafficking money? Okay. Thank you for your presentation. Okay. You can follow on in the fund and find. Okay. I'm looking at your comments. Yes, California time. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock, West Coast time, California time. You guys want to see something that is amazing before I go? And I wanted to show this tomorrow, but I'm just going to show you something. And let me see where it's at. Mm. Mm. Let me see where it's at. Yeah, it says 26 seconds. Yeah, thank you so much, Mickey. Thank you so much. I see the coffee. Thank you so much. I will just put a video. It's 9 o'clock West Coast time, man. What are you talking about? People are telling me go to sleep. It's 5 o'clock West Coast time, brother. Let me put this video on so you can image 5016. So I can give you guys a glimpse of what I'm talking about and how this is going to completely, it's going to be a long night of explaining. So okay, no. Hold on. Here we go. So, okay. This is how am I going to do it tomorrow, right? So, this is Culiacan. This is the main city. Before I go, it's an hour and 12 minutes. This is around 6 o'clock in the morning. It's a 26-second video. It's one of the most important cities possibly in the country. This is 6 o'clock in the morning. And the town is a ghost town. And this is one of the most important avenues in the whole city. This is one of the most important avenues in the whole city. Why it is a ghost town at 6 o'clock in the morning? Because people started activating their businesses at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. And not only that, people are not working late at night. They're afraid of what is actually happening. The war with the cartel has completely taken away the security and the confidence of people to go out and try to just enjoy the nightlife and also work in the nighttime. And also businesses are opening more late now. Why? Because it is extremely dangerous to open them early. Let me just play this 26-second clip for you to understand why am I saying that.
That is crazy. Not a single car on the road at 5 in the morning. There's one. That is crazy. Not a single car on the road at 5 in the morning. There's one.
By me showing you that, It is how the city is. And we will show you more tomorrow of that. It's incredible how this has affected the city. Also, we were going to show you the cemetery, video I recorded from the both sides of the aisle. These cemeteries, these mausoleums, man, it's incredible. It's a bigger house than normal house. It's just incredible how they're building all these houses, and it's just like hallways of marble and glorifying people with 2-story buildings, and even they have a terrace on the top of a 3-story high building, which somebody was buried, a kingpin or a drug lord. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. These kind of mausoleums houses, it's like when the pharaohs were buried. It's exactly like that. And they glorify this. There's nothing against the family, but it's just like amazing, unbelievable. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice. You said it's 9:14 late in the night. I was going to drink a coffee, and possibly I am, because I'm going to stay up late working. Working on the working on the release of the compilation of videos for tomorrow. There's a question again, and I'm going to explain it again, Oscar. But don't they have to do pre-work to get the stores? This is not the U.S., man. There's no pre-work stores. Do they stay open later or lose that business time? My brother, there's no nightlife. Every business is closed around 7 o'clock in the evening because of the cartel war. And they start opening around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning. Oscar, all the countries now taking back their citizens. No, the U.S. hasn't. We have a population over here about 2 million in the state of Baja only. So no. That's a nice joke, man. I wanted to throw that in there. I'm sorry. It's a good thing, man. It's 9:15 in the morning, 9:15 in the evening. Let me just throw a little one right there, man. Let me just throw a little one. It had to be thrown. It had to be thrown, man. It had to be thrown. We have a lot of Americans over here also. Also living over here. So we're talking about that. I'm just throwing that out there, man. It had to be done. Don't get upset. It had to be done. It had to be done. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Saying good night. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission. God bless.